So let's talk about what's going to happen on January 6th. I want to really try and set up your expectations to what's really going to happen. What do I think? It's my opinion, obviously, but that's what I think is going to happen. So obviously, as you know, January 6th is when Congress is going to meet to certify the Electoral College results and declare who the winner is. However, there are 7 states with dueling electors, which is going to be a bit different this time. So, and we already have, over 24 members in the House that they're going to contest the result, and we also have at least one person in the Senate now, George Haley, that's also going to contest it. So here's what's going to happen. The joint session is going to meet, they're going to start counting, and they go alphabetical order. I think the first one is going to be Arizona, the first contested one, I think, going to be Arizona. And then you're going to have at least in writing one House member and one Senate member, send an objection. In that case, both chambers will trigger a process where both chambers withdraw and they hold a 2-hour long debate and then followed by a vote for each contested state. So you have, if we're going to go with 6, we were talking about 12 hours here. So this is likely not to finish till the 7th. Okay, so assuming this goes through this way. So the vote is a simple majority vote. So if the Senate votes to remove those electoral college votes and replace them by the alternative ones, it has to pass in the House, it has to pass in the Senate. Zero chance of that happening because at the very least the House is majority, not by much, but still majority Democrats, and there's zero chance any of them is going to vote to remove Joe Biden or decertify Joe Biden as the winner on that state. And the Senate, well, as you can see already at this point, there are so many traitors there, especially Mitch McConnell, there's no chance it's going to pass there. But they're going to have that debate. Now, you may ask yourself, well, what's the point of this if it's going to fail anyways? Is it just political theater? Yes and no. It is political theater, absolutely, just to show the American people, yeah, we care, look, we're looking into it, we're going to discuss it. But the advantage of that, at least for the Trump team, is it actually would expose that information to the public. Because most people don't even know there were any frauds. Most people, they're watching the fake news and believe everything that has been told to them that there is nothing there. This way, at least, assuming there's no change in rules, because we'll discuss that, then it should be televised, and then they will present the evidence and see what happens. Now, there's another scenario here which is very unlikely, but I'm going to mention it anyways because I know some people are talking about it, which is the Mike Pence card. Now, Mike Pence can just open the alternative slate of electors and read them as the winners. Of course, that would be hysterical. I don't think Pence would do it. I think Pence did mention once to Trump. I don't know. I mean, you never know the sources, right? Everybody has their own inside sources, and most of the time they're fake. But Mike Pence may not do it. If he does do that, obviously there's going to be debate, and eventually it's going to end up at the Supreme Court for one final legal battle. And if the Supreme Court are as cowardly as I think they are, that would be good news, because then they'll just pass it back to the legislators, or they'll pass it back to the Senate, and then each state will vote, and then Trump would win, as he has majority states, I think 26 to 24, something like that. Now, here's what I think. I mean, Pence had a trip scheduled to fly to Israel, which he recently canceled on December 30th, right? Now, that means 2 things for me. It means that he was planning just to do the formality vote, Biden wins, and then he goes to Israel. And he only canceled it recently because, well, Josh Haley decided to challenge it, so he knows it's going to be 12 hours, so he's obviously not going to make it. He's probably going to postpone it till at least after the 7th. This also means to me, most importantly, is he had no intention, nor the willpower, or any plan of effect that he was going to help Trump in any way. But of course, that's my opinion. I mean, if it is this case, then honestly, I think Trump might as well concede, because if you cannot trust his vice president, and he can't trust the GOP, he can't trust the Senate, he can't trust his own party, then what's the point in trying to help this lost cause? The only people on his side are obviously the American people, at least the alive ones. Now, do I think Pence is going to do that? Like I said, I doubt it. Now, Trump did say he's going to present massive evidence to Congress before the vote, hopefully to, have such an overwhelmingly specific fraud that, it would show without dispute that, Biden cheated and he's a traitor, or, anything of that sort that would kind of force them, especially with the millions of people outside, force them to acknowledge that and hopefully vote, see the light, let's say that, and vote for Trump. Assuming they televise that, right? So that's the whole point of it. They might change the rules. So I know Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi are actually working together, believe it or not, to make a deal to block the Electoral College certification objections, or at least limit them on what they can do. So change the rules here and there. So maybe they can broadcast it, maybe they have less than 5 minutes, maybe they can yield their time to another member, and so on. So we will see what the traitors will do, but that's the likely scenario. Now, I just want to mention one thing important now. This is not a normal year where, we just pick a president, or in this case, a lame president, which would maybe have powers, and then for a few months, maybe a year, and then replaced by Kamala, which was always the plan, by the way. In case you're wondering why all this news about the Hunter Biden scandal, stuff like that, is because, it's fine to take it out right now. They don't care after January 20th. He can be removed, he can be replaced by Kamala, he can be replaced by anyone, doesn't matter, as long as Trump is out. That's the key here. And that's why even Supreme Court scheduled the hearing for the Kraken on the 22nd of January, because they clearly, even if they're going to vote, yeah, oh shit, you're right, there was fraud, no one cares at this point. Trump is out. That is the plan. That was always the plan. So you may ask yourself, so if this is what's going to happen, so why did Donald Trump invite hopefully millions to come to DC? Is he just inviting them to, come here and watch his demise? I mean, yeah, he might have a wild card that we don't know about. Maybe he's not showing all his hand all of a sudden. Maybe he's going to sow real treason during the January 6th hearings, that it becomes so shocking that everybody would see it. Now, I want to tell you one thing that's very important in my opinion. Very, very important. The numbers are going to matter here when it comes to the number of people coming to DC. If 500,000 people show up, Trump lost. If I'm talking about millions show up, like 10 million people show up to DC, Trump is not going anywhere. That's what I think is the very likely scenario, because 10 million people flood the streets of DC. Believe me, the GOP are going to hear that. And maybe they're oblivious, they don't understand that voting against Trump is voting against the MAGA people, which is really the only people who are getting them elected. They're going to disappear in 2 years, assuming there is still a country in 2 years, because I think not only are we thinking about, Joe Biden, which no one likes, being president, or if you remember the time when Obama was elected, so you had people like him, some people didn't like him, but this is very different here. When there is accusation that not only did DNC work to fraud the American people and cheat in that way, but also show that they actually worked with foreign entities such as the CCP in order to remove an elected president, this is going to be a very different scenario here. I think there's a very good chance that the patriots are not going to accept that. Maybe even military will not accept that. You cannot accept having a maturing candidate to run your country, which will sell your country to the highest bidder, from the people to the jobs to even military secrets. There is no excuse for that. I don't think this is going to end well either way. There's going to be a lot of problems. There's going to be riots. There's going to be, this is if Trump wins. If he doesn't win, well, I expect secession, I expect civil war, revolution. I mean, I don't understand why the GOP, at least the Senate in this case, do not see it. It seems very clear that this is not a normal election. This is not somebody who won or lost. And I want to tell you something about history. If you look at any historical, let's say war, civil war, famine, any regime that either gains or fails, that where mass number of people die, or you have any kind of war, there's always specific occasions, specific markers that are needed. Yes, the country is divided. Yes, there's definitely hate on both sides. There is economical hardship right now. You have businesses being closed. You have people being very upset. I mean, when you have California are going crazy and recalling, the mayors and all, they're also, I'm not going to say rioting, but I mean they're protesting quite heavily. I think honestly, if you counted the legal votes, I think California probably went red this time. If you have that anger and if you have that suffering, do you think these are the right conditions where a war would break out? Especially when you have an illegitimate president, you better believe it. And if the GOP are blind to see it, I'm sorry, but they kind of, that's their choice. I can't tell you more than that. So anyways, that's my expectation. So what's going to happen? In short, my opinion is it's going to be an opportunity for Donald Trump to show the evidence to everybody, the public, hopefully, unless they change the rules significantly. So he'll have more public support. He hopes that there's going to be enough millions of people in DC to force the vote for him, or force the GOP to vote for him, if there's enough public pressure. But I think that's likely to fail. I also don't think the Mike Pence card is going to work. Now, what happens after January 6th? Well, the Constitution only cares about one date, which is January 20th. So what's going to happen between January 6th and January 20th? I don't see many options besides the courts, Supreme Courts. I don't know if the legislators can cancel their electoral votes after they're being cast. I don't know about that. We definitely I have to look into that for you. Otherwise, the only other thing that could happen that would kind of save the country is if the evidence came out that Biden actually, let's just say Biden is not going to become president because of high treason. I'm not going to leave it there. And if he gets arrested, then there is no president except for Donald Trump. I know you might think, oh, well, no, that's okay because Kamala will be president if Biden isn't. No, that's not how it works. Joe Biden has to be inaugurated first for Kamala to be activated. There is no, he was second on the ticket. No. Then there'll be only one person left on the ticket who is not arrested for high treason. That will be Donald Trump. Is that going to happen? Also unlikely. So, and I don't think the military also going to get involved because, if the military split, you are already at a civil war. So I don't see this happening in a good way. Donald Trump, I know he's not going to give up. I know he's going to try every single thing in his sleeves. I know he will continue fighting for the people no matter what happens till the last breath. But the only way you can help him is public support. You really need to show up in DC, cause as much pressure to the legislators, to the GOP senators, to the Democrats for all I care. Create enough noise that the people will not go unnoticed. I would remind you of the Million Man March. It's got to be visible. People have to hear it. I know the news won't talk about it, so you have to spread the word like this. The will of the people is the only thing that's going to stop it at this point, in my opinion. Otherwise, I think it's political theater. Anyways, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Donald Trump has a wild card that we didn't know about, and he is full of surprises. Hopefully, he's going to present something that's going to shock the planet for January 6th. Let's hope for the best. But I just want to get your expectations to the more realistic scenario here. And it's unfortunate. I was truly hoping that the Senate would just vote with Trump, and then that's the case where Trump wins, because then you'll have a contingent election, and 26 to 24 states and Donald Trump wins. But I really didn't expect uh, Mitch McConnell to be a traitor. I mean, it's honestly just follow the money. I'll give you one last nugget of information for you. You know how one of the things they wanted to pass in that fat bill that gives money to everybody except for the American people, well, maybe $600. There was a couple of 100 million going to the Smithsonian thing. It's a museum thing. I want you to take a look at who's the head of the board of that entity. Yes, that's right. Supreme Judge Roberts. Does that are the dots connecting yet? Is it making sense at this point or not? Anyways, I'm pretty sure YouTube's gonna delete this video one day or soon. So please follow me on Parler and follow me on Rumble, and I'll continue posting all this evidence and all this information while I can on these platforms. Good day and Happy New Year, and let's hope 2021 would be an improvement.